I'm Laura from Jimmy Bean's Wool, and I'm going to show you, using a project that I'm working on right now, how to do a couple of different decreases. I actually had to use these decreases. This is a little hooded cardigan that I'm making for a friend of mine. And you start out with, and I don't know the exact numbers, but let's say you start out with 100 stitches. Oops, that shook a little because Buddy just jumped, knocked into it. Let's say you start out with 100 stitches. By the time you get to the bottom, they want you to decrease so that you only have 95 stitches. There are two different ways to do decreases. Well, there are multiple ways. The two different ways that I use are knit two together, which is the simplest, and then SSK, which is slip, slip, knit. Now, knit two together in SSK, one decreases this way and one decreases this way. In other words, they create little slants. They make a little bit of a slant in the fabric. So, I mean, you could use knit two together all the time. Hi, Wiley. Yeah, you can say hi to him. Oh, he's going to lay down. Oh, hey. Anyway, you can use knit two together all the time, or you could use SSK together all the time. A lot of times you'll see it in socks. You know how socks go, and then they kind of tilt in towards the toe. That's because the one on the right is an SSK, that's the decrease you've been using, and on the left you use a knit two together. And so they kind of slant this way. So I'll show you how to do both. And I will just show you using my project. Another great place to use those two decreases is like on a tank top, around where the sleeves or where the armholes are. But, okay, you can zoom in, and I'm going to work right here. So tell me when we're good. Okay, so the first one that I'm going to do is a knit two together. And it's really as simple as knit two together. Hats are a great place to use knit two together. You'll see when you're decreasing at the top of a hat to do that. So here are two stitches. Here's my needle. Normally, you would just knit like this, right? Knit, knit, knit. When you're going to knit two together, you simply go into two stitches like that and knit. Now you just have one, so you can kind of see. So again, you can do, oops, and if it's tight, if you're a tight knitter, it's not as fun. But there you go. So where you did have two stitches, now you have one. So we'll take these two and we'll knit them together. And sometimes patterns will just say decrease, and you can pick what you want to do. A lot of times that's what they'll say. So that was knit two together. Very simple, right? So let me knit a few stitches to separate these guys. And then here's SSK, or slip, slip, knit is what some people call it. So a lot of times the directions will say slip the first stitch as if to knit. So like you're going to knit, only just take it off. And then slip the next stitch as if to purl. So put your needle in the front like this and slip it off. And then you kind of want to knit these two together. So I take my left needle. It's really awkward at first. It took me forever to figure out how to do it. Take this left needle, you put it into the front of these two stitches, wrap your yarn around the right needle, and you're going to pull this pink yarn through this kind of greenish yarn, like that. And there you go. And look, it's kind of slanted the other direction. So let me show you again. So slip a stitch as if to knit, slip a stitch as if to purl, and then you're going to knit these together by putting the left needle right in the front there, wrap your yarn around the back needle, and pull it through. Does that make sense? I guess you can't answer me, but I'll try it one more time. So slip a stitch, slip as if to knit, slip as if to purl, put the needle in the two like that, wrap it around, pull it through and off. And that's it. I mean, where you once had two needles or two stitches, now you just have one. So you can zoom out. And you'll see, you know, if you use them, a lot of times I use the knit two together on the left and I use the SSK on the right. And again, you know, I don't know if that's the right way to do it or not, but that's how I do it, and it seems to work pretty well. Nobody's complained yet. So, again, this is the Art Yarn Super Merino in case you're curious, and I'm knitting a Knitting Pure and Simple baby cardigan sweater with a hood for a friend of mine. And increasing and decreasing are two different skills. Decreasing you definitely have to do a little bit in the beginning, and you'll have to do it on the sleeves. So hopefully that'll help you get through some of your projects. All right, thanks so much.
Thunder rumbles on this American summer night. There's kids on the corner, stuck in a switchblade fight. And the rock and roll bands play for